Hi, GPT.
Hi, how's it going?
I'm not feel well today.
I'm sorry to hear that. What's wrong? Is it physical, emotional, or just one of those days?
Physical.
そうなんですね。大丈夫ですか？どこか痛いとか疲れがひどいとか具体的な症状がありますか？
I'm on my period, so I'm not feel well today. And it was so tired. It was so tough today because I had a stomach ache and I had uh uh
I'm sorry you're feeling that way. Period stomach aches can be so tough. Were you about to say you had a busy day on top of that?
It was so tough day because 応答するって英語でなんていうの？リバースフードかな。
応答するは英語で respond や reply と言います。状況によって使い分けます。例文 I had to respond to so many messages today. 今日はたくさんのメッセージに応答しなきゃいけなくて。
そういう意味じゃない。
She didn't reply to my question. 彼女は私の質問に応答するが、対話や反応を意味する場合、respond がよりフォーマルで幅広く使えます。
ゲロを吐くって英語でなんていうの？
ゲロを吐くは英語で throw up や vomit と言います。カジュアルな表現 I feel like I'm going to throw up フォーマルな表現 vomit He started to vomit after eating something bad 悪いものを食べて吐き寄せその他のカジュアル表現 I might puke if I smell that again もう一度あの匂いを嗅いだら場面に応じて表現を選ぶといいですね。
I slowed up and
It seems like you might mean something else. Did you mean to say I slowed down or I threw up? Let me know.
I slow up because I'm not feel well.
問題が発生しています。システムの負荷が高くなっています。後でもう一度お試しください。
I slow up and I even could not stand up or sit down. So I called 911.
I see what you're trying to say. You can say I slowed down and I couldn't even stand up or sit down, so I called 911. It sounds like it was a really difficult situation. Are you feeling any better now?
Yes, I drink medicine, so I feel better. And I went to a gynecologist for looking for what's wrong in my body.
That's good to hear you're feeling better after taking medicine. You can say, I took some medicine, so I feel better, and I went to a gynecologist to find out what's wrong with my body. Did the gynecologist give you any helpful advice or treatment?
Could you repeat the phrase again?
Of course. I took some medicine, so I feel better, and I went to a gynecologist to find out what's wrong with my body. Let me know if you'd like me to explain anything.
Could you repeat the phrase more slowly again? I took some medicines.
Sure. Here it is more slowly. I took some medicine, so I feel better, and I went to a gynecologist to find out what's wrong with my body. I hope this helps.
Yeah, thank you. I took some medicine, so I feel better. And I went to gynecologist to find out what's happening in my body.
You're almost there. Here's a slightly corrected version. So I feel better, and I went to the gynecologist to find out what's happening in my body. The change is adding the before gynecologist to make it sound more natural in English. How did it go at the gynecologist?
超音波って英語でなんて言うの？
超音波へアルトラサウンド言います。I had an ultrasound to check my health. 健康をチェックするために超音波検査を。The doctor recommended an ultrasound to examine the problem. 医者はその問題を調べるために超音波を勧めました。アルトラサウンドは医療用語でよく使われますが、一般的にも音波を使った技術全般を指します。
The doctor used ultrasound to find out any disease about female disease.
You're almost there. Here's a slightly corrected version. The doctor used ultrasound to check for any female-related diseases. This version is a bit more natural in English. Let me know if you need more help.
Could you repeat again?
Of course, here it is again. The doctor used ultrasound to check for any female-related diseases. Let me know if you'd like more clarification.
The doctor used ultrasound to check female-related disease.
You're very close. Here's a small tweak. The doctor used ultrasound to check for female-related diseases. The change is adding for after check to make it sound more natural. Does that help?
The doctor used ultrasound to check female-related disease.
That sounds perfect. It's clear and natural now. How did everything go with the ultrasound?
The doctor said that there is no problem, so I feel released.
Great to hear that everything is fine. Here's a small adjustment to make the sentence flow better. The doctor said that there is no problem, so I feel relieved. Relieved is the word you want when you're feeling comforted or less worried. I'm glad you're feeling better.
The doctor said there is no problem, so I feel relieved.
That's perfect. I'm glad to hear you're feeling relieved. It must be a huge weight off your shoulders.
But I'm also checking about 子宮頸がんってなんて言うんだろう英語で。
It sounds like you might be referring to something specific, but I'm not quite sure what subsequent KGN refers to. Could you clarify?
子宮頸がんの検査をしてるって英語でなんて言うの？
子宮頸がんの検査をしているは英語で以下のように言えます。I am getting a cervical cancer screening. または具体的に検査方法を指す場合は I am getting a pap smear to check for cervical cancer. どちらも自然な表現です。
I am check for cancer screening
You're very close. Here's a more natural version. I am getting checked for cancer screening. Or if you're referring specifically to cervical cancer, you could say, I am getting a cervical cancer screening. Let me know if you'd like further clarification.
I am getting cancer screening.
It seems like you're trying to say you're getting checked for cancer, but cancerous clinging doesn't quite fit. Here's a more accurate version. I am getting a cancer screening. Or if you're referring specifically to cervical cancer, I am getting a cervical cancer screening. Let me know if that works.
I am getting checked cancer screening.
You're almost there. Here's the correct version. I am getting checked for cancer screening. This way, the phrase sounds more natural. Keep it up.
I am getting checked for cancer screening. Is that perfect?
You're really close. The correct phrasing is, I am getting checked for cancer. Or if you're specifically talking about cervical cancer, I am getting checked for cervical cancer. This should sound more natural. Let me know if you have more questions.
I hope there is no problem.
That sounds perfect. It's natural and expresses your hope clearly. I hope everything turns out fine for you as well.
By the way, why the ultrasound can find out something wrong in my body?
Ultrasound works by using high-frequency sound waves to create images of the inside of your body. When the sound waves hit different tissues, organs, or fluids, they bounce back to the ultrasound device, which processes them into an image. These images help doctors see structures like organs, blood vessels, or even abnormalities such as cysts, tumors, or signs of disease. In the case of a gynecological ultrasound, it can help detect issues like ovarian cysts, fibroids, or other problems in the reproductive system. It's non-invasive and safe, which is why it's commonly used for diagnostic purposes.
I cannot understand. So please explain like you talk with elementary school students.
Sure. Let me explain it more simply. An ultrasound is like a special camera that uses sound waves to look inside your body. These sound waves are too high-pitched for our ears to hear. When the sound waves hit things inside your body like your organs, they bounce back. The ultrasound machine listens to these sound waves and turns them into pictures, kind of like a map of what's inside you. Doctors use these pictures to look for problems, like if something is growing where it shouldn't be, or if something looks different than it should. It's a safe way for them to check how your body is doing without needing to cut or poke you. Does that make sense now?
Yeah, but I'm wondering why the sound can take a picture.
Great question. The sound waves used in ultrasound are special because they're much higher in pitch than what we can hear. These sound waves travel through your body, and when they hit different parts of your body, like your organs, they bounce back to the machine. Even though we can't hear these sounds, the ultrasound machine can listen to them and turn them into pictures. It works because different parts of your body, like muscles, fluids, and organs, reflect the sound waves differently. Some parts might reflect the sound waves a lot, and some might reflect only a little. By looking at how the sound waves bounce back, the machine can figure out what's inside and show it to the doctor. Does that help explain why the sound can still help the machine see inside you even though we can't hear it?
Yeah, a little bit, but I cannot imagine that. So could you refer some example except for hospital use?
I understand. Let me give you a more familiar example to help with the idea of sound waves bouncing back. Imagine you're at the beach and you shout really loudly near a cliff. When you shout, the sound waves travel through the air and hit the cliff. Then they bounce back to you as an echo. You can hear that echo, right? The echo happens because the sound waves bounce off the hard surface and return to your ears. Now think about ultrasound. Instead of our ears hearing the sound, the ultrasound machine hears the sound waves that bounce off things inside your body. It's like the machine listening for an echo, but instead of hearing it as a sound, the machine turns it into a picture. The body parts that are softer or denser bounce the sound waves back in different ways, which helps the machine create an image. Does that make it a bit clearer?
No. 周波数って英語になんて言うの？
周波数は英語frequencyと言います。例文 The frequency of the sound waves is very high in ultrasound. 超音波で音の周数が非常に高い。Radio waves have different frequencies. ラジオ波は異なる周波数を持っています。Frequency は音や電波などがどれくらいの速さで繰り返し起こるかを表す言葉です。
で、ultrasound use does ultrasound use frequency?
はい。ウルトラサウンドは High Frequency Sound Waves 高周波音波を指しています。これらの音波は人間の耳では聞こえないほど高い周波数で体内の異なる部分に当たって反射します。この反射した音波を機械が受け取って画像を作り出します。つまり、ウルトラサウンドは高周波、ハイフリクエンシーの音波を使って体内の構造を可視化するのです。
It is so surprising for me.
I'm glad you found it surprising. Ultrasound technology is pretty amazing when you think about it. It's like using sound to see inside your body without any surgery or harmful effects. Science is full of surprises. Does it make more sense to you now?
What situation does high frequency used?
High-frequency sound waves are used in a variety of situations, especially where we need to see or measure things that are too small or delicate for us to see with the naked eye. Here are some examples. 1. Medical imaging, like ultrasound. As we've talked about, high-frequency sound waves are used to create images of the inside of your body, like checking your organs, blood flow, or even babies in the womb. 2. Sonar and echolocation in the ocean. Animals like dolphins and bats use high-frequency sound to see their surroundings by bouncing sound waves off objects. This is called echolocation. Sonar systems on ships or submarines also use high-frequency sound to detect objects underwater, like fish or ships. 3. Cleaning small parts. In some industries, high-frequency sound is used in a process called ultrasonic cleaning, which helps clean small, delicate items like jewelry or electronic components. 4. Radar. High-frequency waves can be used in radar systems for detecting and tracking objects, like airplanes or weather patterns. In all of these cases, the high frequency allows for detailed information, whether it's about the inside of your body, objects underwater, or even tiny particles.
I sometimes go to esthetician and 機械
It sounds like you're about to say something about your visits to an esthetician. What do you usually go for? Skincare, relaxation, or something else?
スキンケアの機械って英語でなんて言うの？
スキンケアで使われる機械にはいくつか種類がありますが、代表的なものとしては以下のような機械があります。1. フェイシャルスチーマー。肌を温めて毛穴を開き、汚れや皮脂を取りやすくする機械です。2. 超音波導入機。イカンケアデバイス。 これは超音波を使って肌の深層まで美容成分を浸透させる機械です。3. LED ライト療法。赤や青の LED ライトを使って肌の改善やニキビ治療をする機械です。4. ローラータイプの美顔器。手で使うローラータイプの機械で顔の血行を促進したりリフトアップ効果を狙う機械です。もし具体的にどんな機械を指しているのか、もう少し詳しく教えてもらえると、さらに詳しくお答えできますよ。
超音波って英語でなんて言うの？はい。
超音波、英語でアルトラサウンドを言います。
ああ、
Could you clarify what you mean by rules? Are you referring to specific rules for something, or are you asking about a particular topic?
No, thank you. I have to fall asleep, so I'm excited to talk with you tomorrow. Yeah.
I hope you have a restful sleep. I'm looking forward to talking with you tomorrow. Sleep well.
Good night.